What's up, you guys? Jeffro back again, and I promised you guys I'd share some of my tools with you. So I'm going to have a little segment on some of the tools I use around my shop right here. So first, definitely my top, right? This is my Model 608 lathe from Rivette Tool and Grinder Company. These were originally manufactured in the late 1930s and early 1940s. That's where this model is from. So this happens to be one of the most sought after small jeweling lathes in the world. These things were infamous around the planet before World War II even. I acquired this lathe through a friend at a heavily discounted price and all of that stuff. But the reality is this thing actually belongs in a museum, I swear. So I don't consider myself any kind of machinist or any of that. I really only need a lathe for making small round bushings and things like that. Most of the time, I'm just turning plastic, aka Delrin for us. This is like a self-lubricating plastic. It's great for making bushings. If you're not completely familiar with bushings, well, you'll find bushings all over the place. And in essence, a bushing is basically a form of a bearing. Okay, so it's made to spin, like i.e. on a bolt with a pin down through the middle, so on and so forth. So one of my friends asked me to manufacture this. It's for a trailer. So I'm going to use this as our example today. I'm going to turn a little Delrin bushing for him so he can get his trailer up on the road. Just to share with you guys a little bit of history about this machine, right? Pre-World War II, so on and so forth. When these machines were manufactured, they were manufactured to such high tolerance that they sold for right around $3,000 in the 1930s, okay? You can look across the bed right here on this one, and I'm going to show a little footage that I took earlier, and you can actually see the hash marks from a master filer who made this bed perfectly flat. I mean, this thing is so fun to use. Obviously, leather belt drive, right? On the back there is a motor from the 1950s that powers this thing. Now, eventually, I'd like to upgrade that to like a 220 motor. I want a little more power out of this guy. But I tell you what, it is a ton of fun, right? So the table and everything came from my friend who purchased this off of a really old man. I believe he may have been the one who built it or whatever. I don't know the full history on the actual deck here. But it all works great. It's done kind of in that classic old man style. Later on, I'll try to change that, but I've actually had this thing for a handful of years now, and it's just a blast to use. So in an off-road world and automotive manufacturing or any of that, I personally don't have a need for like a mill, an end mill, or any of those things, but a lathe like this is just completely invaluable, right? Sometimes I need to turn tubes, like I talked about a sleeve in one of my other videos. I can turn the sleeves down. I can square up the ends of small pieces of tubing, so on and so forth. And then, of course, I can make my Delrin bushings right here. So I've made so many things on this, and it's a bunch of fun. I am not a master machinist or a lathe master or any of those things, so don't mind if I just make a little fun right now. Always make sure you have a deburring tool, by the way. This always helps clean up small holes like that, things like that. They work on steel, they work on plastic. And there we go. That's exactly what he was looking for. Thanks, guys.